Liquid in a pretty one-sided fashion, but now we're on Dignitas' map pick of Train. We'll see if they can try to do a bit better, but Liquid does start on that CT side.
And it's going to require Dignitas to get a really hot out-of-the-gate start for their own T side. There's a lot of ID presence right now, and Twist is a man on the run. Currently hasn't hit much of anything, but he's getting some support in here. Nap covering fire, and they stick it to him.
Topical, listen, if I would have done a pause after Twist gets the first kill through smoke and sees 3 people pushing him Ivy and he runs to hell, if I would have paused the screen right there and been like, what happens next? Would that have been at all even close to the prediction you would have had?
No, absolutely
that's
not.
Insane that he stays alive for that long and winds up getting 2 more kills.
If you have Glocks screaming at you within the one-shot capability range, 3 people doing that, yeah. 99 times out of 100.
Also, credit where credit's due. Naf kind of bailed them out and kept them alive long enough to be able to get those extra couple of kills on Outer. So really good team play in general there from Liquid. Of course, the force buy comes out from Dignitas with no bomb plant in the first round, but they're already down a man as Voltage has been caught by Nitros from us.
And I bet Dignitas really wish they had a smoke right now. Minimal investment into this round would really give them at least an opportunity to plant down towards the lower site, just smoking off the sidewalk. But their posture right now leads me to believe that they want to be able to wrap into A. Might actually get some friction into the upper box halls, which looks like Nafly will be able to quickly satiate the bloodlust that his rifle has, and it's all falling apart at the seams. You needed at least one of those opportunities for Dignitas to be able to capture that, take a weapon out of their hands. Instead, everybody loses their 1v1 duels surrounding that A site.
Indeed, so Liquid quickly up 2-0. Dignitas should be on a full save here, so it's probably going to be quickly a 3-0. Best Dignitas can hope for here is maybe some type of run for a bomb plant, but CT teams, knowing that this is coming, will probably play up close with SMGs on some of those, tight entry points, kind of like lower ramp and enter or something like that, and try to deny that as best they can. It's exactly what Steel does, in fact. He's playing very up close with an SMG.
Yeah, MP7. A little bit deeper. Looks like it's all happening over towards T-Con, though. And Nitro, he's got 2. One of them with the Deagle, and everybody stays alive. That's what's most important for Team Liquid right now. Nobody dies. I mean, they hardly even tapped into their utility pocketbooks. So Dignitas not able to scratch much of the surface or crack the shell of that egg means that Team Liquid are going to have a little bit of extra bonus cash for themselves, and a lot of teams, I mean, every team, will love to employ a double op setup on Train for your CT side. So the more money, the better. It's a very expensive taste for the CTs on Train.
Yep, absolutely. Voltage getting out pretty quickly with this AWP at T-Cons, and again on the ladder. CTs are definitely looking to play aggressive, but Voltage already has the angle on a lot of this, so it's going to come down to timing.
Ooh. He wings him. Elige catches one just through the corner of the T-Con door threshold, and he stays alive. So they know that Dignitas have a lot of firepower here. Look at Elige. He's still straight up through this one. Does a lot of damage. Nitro will be able to pick up some of the pieces as Nitro falls down near Olaf. And Dignitas are currently invading the A side. Grim crossing the E-box side. I don't think he's been detected. He is now. And quickly, again, just like the round before, every prong of the attack Dignitas have tried has failed.
Yeah, that's just like some no-respect stuff from Liquid. I mean, to be fair, though, it's Elige with an SMG, so he knows his best chance is to get up close on someone. Does a lot of damage, lets Nitro get the trade. But again, it's like Naf being a Guardian Angel. Like, Nitro should have been caught on top of the T-Con train as soon as he got the kill from a guy who pushed ladder, but Naf was there to save the day. Wound up catching the kill on Grim, who snuck out E-box as well. So Naf really doing some big things over on the outer bomb side already in this game to help get those extra kills that you normally maybe wouldn't get.
I'm actually surprised Liquid actually got out of what SMGs they held on to, because they still have viability. It's a 2-for-1 trade here.
Yeah, I think it's because Elige was already up to like $10,000+. I think he's just like, all right, that's enough. I'll go ahead and get it in for.
But they're still going up against unarmored pistols. They know that there's going to be another eco round coming. So, I don't know. To each their own. They have lost Twists now, and it is a 2-2 defense. Steel's not playing absolutely up on the front lines here. Instead, he's up on top of the gray train. And you would love, as Dignitas, to be able to have some flashbangs or anything. I would always love to see the Molotov that hits the Gray Train here. But all three of them are going across the upper halls, and good timing as well. Nitro sees them. Of course, he has the scope, and he'll be able to take them at range very comfortably. Grim has an AK. Oh, and catches Nitro, who was jumping up on top of the spools. I think it was a surprise that there was a rifle in hand for Dignitas. If Grim can get a bomb plant here, which he's not going to, Elige will take the long flank around, and the Molotov pushed him up against that bomb train, so you could virtually pre-fire that. And Liquid will take that 5-0 start, though that one was a little bit more costly than they had anticipated.
Indeed it was, but Dignitas will be back onto a full buy. Voltage will have the AWP back in hand. He almost had a nice little opening pick last time he had it. Just, you know, barely missed out on a full frag against Elige, catching him through the edge of the wall. But he's on 0 kills so far this game, so hopefully he'll step up. And Connor, the new guy to the team, has also been struggling a little bit here throughout this series. Hopefully we'll see him increase his play, as we do have a triple Ivy setup coming up. It's also a little bit of a change of the pace in their positioning and how quickly they might be looking to move on the map, though a smoke has kind of slowed them down at Ivy for now.
So I'm a little concerned right now. Dignitas have struck this A site 3 times, I believe, and we have yet to see any kind of default smoke execution here, and they're not going to be looking to do that with 3 players at Ivy right now. So I feel like this presence at Ivy is temporary. They might leave 1 player embedded on this realm, but I would expect that the rest of the guys go back towards T-spawn to set those smokes.
Yeah, I imagine that they're just putting pressure on Inner now to try to keep an Inner player there, maybe draw an extra person, which they have. Naf is an Inner with steal. But triple Ivy definitely indicates you want to go for Outer eventually. It's all going to come down to whether or not you're able to trade your way out of Ivy. But there's up close, does some good damage.
So it's up to the couple of remaining players on this site to be able to pick up pieces. Nitro takes the fight at ladder. Now here's a win for Dignitas. They were able to get through Ivy successfully, but only temporarily. Voltage goes for an M4, a much more suitable weapon to be able to clutch a 1v2 with, but now it's 1v1. He'll go back to what he's comfortable with on the op, just on the opposing side of the bomb train. They play ring around the rosy, but look who has the longer legs. Steel wraps that one across camera, and even though it's expensive, Liquid still get that one, and they'll recover an op out of that as well. I mean, the money is just blooming. It's springtime for Liquid right now.
Gotta give some real credit to Nitro on that round. He didn't allow himself to get tunnel vision on Ivy. He was quick to be aware of what was happening, darted back over towards ladder room, got a kill, got a second frag before going down. You know, gave it even a possible chance for still to win a 1v1 by getting those frags. So definitely he did a lot of the heavy lifting in that one, and his Liquid still have a flawless setup. And Connor may soon be doing his best Daniel Craig impression if he doesn't find a kill here in this round, or at least an assist.
Well, Steel's able to at least cut the T's in half before a smoke stops the Molotov. So they lose Steel on the front lines, but look at Elige. Long flank already. He owns upper box halls. This is what the T's want. This is why Nick has a Molotov still. The bomb will be planted, but they hardly hold any territory until they get Elige out of the upper realm of this. 2-on-3. 2-on-2 now. Voltage turns, looks for the next one. But Nitro, with the quick fingers and the quick scope downwards, will be death from above. Grim alone, climbing the ladder to try to escape the heat, but he's been spotted, and Twist has some precision, crowning Grim. And it's a 7-0, and that's a slightly healthier round for Team Liquid comparatively. At least 2's better than 1.
Yeah, it's one of those things where Liquid almost gave that up a little bit. I mean, they got a little bit disjointed on that retake, gave Dignitas some chances. You know, Elige kind of throwing himself out there and getting caught. I think CT peeked from spawn before Z came through, so the timing was a little bit off on the retake. But Elige had already done so much damage on that flank that it gave them like a safety net if things went a little bit wrong on the retake, and they wound up still getting it done in the end. They're up 7-0.
Well, there's silver lining. That was the first time Dignitas got a bomb plant. So if they're able to keep this pressure up, they can continue to buy rifles over and over again. But look at this massive T-Con, and they are absolutely crushed. Mitch is spraying through. He's able to get one, but Team Liquid right now are looking hungry. Mitch is able to just pry off cold dead fingers of Connor's AK that was there and pick that up, and still not able to put any more damage down range.
I think the point has to be made that trying to go for fast T connector pushes on Outer against a CT team with the economy that Liquid has is damn near impossible. Like, they have full nade sets on every single player. If you think for a second that you're going to push out T-Con to Outer without running through fire, getting nade stacked, you know, taking a bunch of damage, having to run through a smoke. Like, good luck, man. And that's exactly what Dignitas tried to do on a full buy round, and I'm not sure what the thought process was there. Like, that's never going to work against a team with the economy Liquid has. They're going to have to go on the force buy.
You know, Mitch is able to get Nafly, but Nafly gives the sound of the alarm to the A side and back up. Don't get close to these guys. There was a lot of early presence in the ladder, and Nitro is able to post himself up on upper halls. He'll take two, looking for a couple more, but they sneak their way down, at least the ramp, unable to get that bomb and carry that into the site entirely, and there's not much for Mitch to be able to do here. And you end up with yet another round for Team Liquid, but rifles again coming for Dignitas. The max loss bonus is there. And it's just on the back end. At the pace they're at now, 1 bomb plant out of 9 rounds. You're virtually set for Dignitas now to have rifles, upgraded pistols, rifles, upgraded pistols.
Yeah. Not much Dignitas could really do in that round on the force, as Team Liquid are up 9-0 now. Money is looking amazing for them, whereas Dignitas are in kind of a buy-save rotation, or like force buy crazy, but now they went for a double op, so that's an even more expensive investment. I guess I can't blame them, right? They've tried faster pushes, they tried triple Ivy, they tried fast T-con push, they tried playing more default and letting Voltage try to find a pick with the op. Nothing has worked for them, and so I guess you might as well try double op. I mean, it's somewhat viable on this map.
It's the same mentality that they had on Mirage. There was never a strat that Dignitas did that was the same strat back-to-back. It has been a mix and match every round.
And you certainly can't fault them for not, like, you know, experimenting and trying to come up with an adjustment or something like that. It's not like they just are stubborn and keep like running into a brick wall doing the same default over and over again. Like, they are trying to mix things around. It's just they're not finding the kills they need. At the end of the day, you can strategize as greatly as you want, but if you can't connect bullets, then you're not getting anywhere.
Yeah, it's just easier said than done, you know? But we're going to do this and we're going to do that, and then when the rubber meets the road, if you can't hit the shots, it's never going to develop. And I mean, Liquid's not even giving them the shots. Their utility expenditure is perfect, seems like so far, forcing Dignitas to run through smokes or into some situations where the Molotovs force them into other positions that are unfavorable. But here comes the execute. Looks like down the ramp they go. No sidewalk smoke. There was a Z connector smoke, but they feel pretty confident in this one.
Elige, though.
They're going to get a bomb plant here. Oh, yeah. There's a... Oh, they don't get the bomb plant. Elige's perfect timing all the way to the back lines. Nets 2 kills. Puts Dignitas in an unfavorable position. Grim nearly 180 flicks to spray down on Elige, but that's the end of the round. There always seems to be...
That's the second time Elige has done that to them. You know, like, each time they've gone for an interplay, Elige is able to get ladder room control and make that quick flank. They never have anyone watching out for that. And yeah, the tactical pause, this has been needed for a while, I feel like. It just gets to a point where I feel like Dignitas are getting beat so badly, they feel like they just need to do something together and make sure that everyone's there so they have a numbers advantage. And when you start doing that, unfortunately, you leave that opening for a flank like that to catch you because you're so focused on making sure you have all your manpower to take the site itself that, you know, the normal fail-safes you'd like to have in place to deal with little sneaky plays like that from your opponent aren't there anymore, and then it comes back to haunt you.
And it's not like they're unawares of that. We've seen a round before where they played aggressively and very quickly down into the B site, and I can't recall which player it was exactly, but for somebody from Dignitas was watching the rear flank for a fast flank. Just didn't happen that round. They didn't have a player that was still watching to make sure nobody came up that ladder, and I think they ended up getting tripped up by Team Liquid's mobility on this map.
Yeah, so Liquid up 10-0 again. They already won the first map in pretty dominant fashion as well, 16-7 over on Mirage. So Dignitas need to quickly come up with something, otherwise they will be out of this tournament very shortly. As Liquid spots someone jump across towards Ivy. Grim does get the pick on still being aggressive at inner. This is probably the, like, Dignitas have never really had an opening pick like this before this game, so let's see what they can do with it.
They got smokes to the upper catwalks of the inner site. Elige is looking up there. Nitro's back there as well. They're giving support, but it's really over towards Ivy. Similar strat we've seen before, at least 3 players through Ivy this time. Eluded by a flashbang. Grim's able to pick up another one, and there's this split pressure is working right now for Dignitas. They hold a man advantage, but we've seen this before in Mirage. If it comes down to a 1vx, Liquid have been perfect. It's Nafly and Nitro versus nearly the entirety of Dignitas right now, and they're split. They're not going to be able to rely on one another yet. Nafly stops the bomb plant again. Nitro alone 1v3. It's going to need a miracle still for Nitro to be able to pull this one off. He could hit this shot underneath the train. Now he peeks out wide, and Mitch will secure the round. The first on board for Team Dignitas.
It's just Liquid trying to be aggressive on inner, trying to keep taking the fight to Dignitas, just suffocate them, but they caught Steel, they caught another kill towards inner as well. Liquid actually still didn't rotate, by the way. They still had 2 players back halls, and it was still a triple Ivy play for Dignitas, so that still could have gone horribly wrong because Liquid were not biting on the inner picks, but they wound up still being able to get the outer yard nonetheless. That they wound up taking down Twist pretty quickly in the back halls, and short of Naf getting the bomb down, really everything else went Dignitas' way there, and they do want to finally pushing one through. But now Liquid are going to go for an aggressive Ivy play. There are 3 players waiting out there a little bit further back towards spawn. It's all about whether or not Naf actually wants to fully commit to peeking this or not.
Looking similar to the strategy as the one before.
It's like a bait setup with Twist out AWP to take first action and then Naf come out. Ooh, never mind. Naf decides to go first.
Well, Twist is up a creek now without a paddle. Way wide. He was hoping to get that first kill. Now, this is the power of a timeout. I mean, MCE able to corral and calm the teammates to mentally reset themselves. Now they own another 2-man advantage as Team Liquid are starting to gear up for a one-sided defense here, favoring A site with appears to be Steel and back lanes. There's the first shot, and Steel having the communication. He was even looking at the mini-map information that Nitro's giving him and feeding him, putting Steel now in a 1v3 situation.
Yeah, I can't expect them to do a whole lot here. Money's actually starting to get a little bit low on Liquid, or not. So I don't know how much he'll go for this, but then he gets those 2 headshots, and the bomb just got planted. So he had a little bit of an opportunity there to maybe just go for the win, but Voltage quickly silences any hopes he had at winning the 1v1. So 2 rounds in a row for Dignitas. And to be fair, like, yeah, you could say the power of the timeout for mental composure for Dignitas and maybe just trying to calm everyone down. It's probably true because they're starting to win some fights, but it's also, I feel like Liquid is going for a little bit too much the past 2 rounds. Like, everything they've done up until this point has worked fine, but I feel like the last couple of rounds they tried to go like that extra effort for whatever reason, like Steel trying to push inner halls by himself and getting caught. Naf just straight up trying to peek Ivy aggressively with no utility, like no pop flash or anything like that. It just seems like Liquid got bored and were trying some new stuff and, you know, got punished for it.
Well, actually, I think what it is Liquid's looking at what their opponent is. It doesn't matter if it's Dignitas, it doesn't matter if it's SK, it just doesn't matter. Liquid have secured the 10 rounds that is pretty much par for the course for the CTs on train. Everything on this, after beyond that, is icing on the cake. So you can get a little creative. You can start to flex your muscles a bit and see what you can get away with.
Yeah, I'd still like to have seen like a pop flash or something before Naf peek Ivy, you know what I mean? Like, it just seemed a little bit careless. And that's the type of things that, you know, even if Dignitas are struggling, if you give them, you know, a little bit of a window of an opportunity, they're still good enough to take that from you, right? But again, like you said, they had such a big lead. It's not like they're gonna, you know, worry too much over losing a couple of rounds. They already have the opening pick in this one.
So we saw the last map, Mirage, actually was a 13-2 half. And it could shape up to be the same, but Liquid would need to definitely win this one. Their economy is starting to suffer, showing cracks after 10 rounds and then 2 of abuse. And they're winning. The trades are here. It is flawless. Again, just pistols, F1 race car peeking around corners, catching Dignitas players locked up either in their scopes or unawares that, I mean, pistol movement is really quick, and that was a speedy round. I mean, the round itself played out relatively slow, but as soon as Liquid decided to snap the mousetrap shut, the round ended.
Yeah, now Dignitas are back to just pistols after a harsh reset, especially considering the rounds that they won, they only survived with 1 player, so they had to do a lot of rebuying, and now the reset comes in, so they are in a really tough spot with only 2 rounds left to play in this half. They still don't even have the best of buys on some of their players going into the next round either, unless they can collect some guns off of Liquid in this one. But they're getting bogged down here in inner halls, and Elige might be up to his old tricks again of a quick flank. And they already have 2 players in inner watching the push.
A late smoke out here. It doesn't go towards the sidewalk. In fact, it allows the line of sight for Mitch to be there. And it's the same thing. Elige right up the ladder, right up into the flank to the backside of Dignitas. and they don't have anywhere that's safe right now. Looks like they play a little bit of do-si-do. Grim goes all the way to the back of the lanes. He's picked up an op and stolen this. And you gotta remember, he's not the only player alive. He's got Connor here as well, and what a flick from Grim! South to north, he undresses Nafly, and it's 1v1. Connor above as well. He's going to dump some utility here, and it's going to take a miracle for Connor to be able to hit this shot. Actually, he pops out of the smoke, and he sprays through it. And Dignitas recover after a little bit of a flounder of a round before that. End up taking that 14th.
That's one of the sickest op flicks I've seen in a while from Grim right there. That last shot he hit was ridiculous.
Like, from my perspective, like, if you go and you watch a replay, sure, you don't have the same, like, tick rate or anything. You'll pull a trigger and they don't even look in the right. It did it live. Like, I didn't see him flick up. I just saw the bullet fly, and it was it.
Yeah, really well done by Grim. I mean, it's always powerful if you're a Terrace team that takes inner, and even if you're getting crushed from back calls, you can get up close on Z and make a play. So hats off to Grim there. He pretty much won that by himself. Now we have our last round of the half upon us, and we have an equal trade thus far. Twist still controlling inner halls, though, trying to do the jump scout.
I ducked in real life.
Almost worked. He does finally tap out of playing inner halls aggressively, but still, Dignitas now have to worry about someone being up close on inner if they decide to go that way. So that's in their mind still.
All right, yeah, 4-on-4 and outgunned. Only one smoke again for Dignitas, so whatever you do, you have to be very careful. And at this point, Dignitas have licked that battery enough times that they should have learned the lesson that Elige or somebody, Elige is dead now, somebody should be running a quick flank against you.
Well, maybe they think since Elige is dead, it's not going to happen. They would be wrong. It's Naf. Oh, never mind. He puts a smoke just to cover it and decides to back up towards outer. Putting a lot of faith on Nitro's scout to kind of hold inner solo and just kind of stack the outer sight. Maybe look to play a retake inner, which is fair enough. Like, in a 4v4, you have to kind of hedge your bets a little bit.
They cross over. Nitro is able to hit the first target in the chest. The bomb will be planted. Now time is against Team Liquid. They've got one kit, Nafly. And they've lost their back lines, actually, that being Nitro. The Molotov as well is going to separate the CTs from one another. It gets a little toasty. Mitch even goes a little bit aggressive and beats in the Z connector, and he'll take another one. All right.
There you go.
Dignitas, I mean, it took him a second, but a 4-round on your T side is recoverable.
Yeah.
It's a CT-sided map.
And they won 4 of the last 5 rounds. To be fair, 2 of those rounds I feel like Liquid kind of handed to them, but the other 2 they just straight up won off of, well, one was Grim, just a crazy individual effort with an AWP that he stole from a CT that he was able to catch up close on Z. And in that round, again, it's that philosophy of if I'm a T team and I'm pushing inner halls, I want to control that red train over by Z connector. I want to be able to cut off CT's rotations, not give them space to get set up inside the inner site and truly go for the retake. So that's just some good dueling towards the end from Dignitas. They finally started to get some players heated up a little bit, particularly Grim, but also Mitch, who also had a pretty decent game on Mirage, has still been playing pretty well. But still, you know, a long way away from, you know, making Liquid sweat.
Yeah.
As just a reminder here at halftime that we do have a giveaway going on down below, so do be sure to check out that underlay. It's really easy to sign up, so be sure to check it out. We're going to shout out to the people who helped make this possible: Western Digital, Samsung, Intel, Microsoft, and Radeon, of course, is iBUYPOWER, who has thrown these weekend cups every few months for basically the last 2 or 3 years. We've had these invitationals as well as the Masters LAN that takes place at the end of the year. So it's pretty cool to see them, you know, consistently putting out events for Counter-Strike and other games as well.
That's fantastic. I love the support for the community, and it's like a jab in the shoulder, you know, keep everybody awake, and that there's some good prize money that's floating around there.
Yeah, it's also just kind of neat because you have the leagues that are going on right now where you're playing like, you know, best of 1s or best of 2s, and you know it's a weekly thing and it lasts for a couple of months, and that's a different kind of competition, right? It's about stamina. Like how can you keep your record going over the course of several months and qualify yourself for a playoff? Whereas this is just straight up, yeah, you're playing best of 3s over a weekend. You lose one, you're out. Like, cash is coming to you right away if you win or lose, right? So it's a different kind of thing, and I think it is a great like kind of litmus test to see like where teams are at right now. Unfortunately for a team like Dignitas, they're kind of in a phase where they're still trying to figure out their roster going forward. But
yeah, I mean, we knew where these teams stood, at least comparatively to one another when this match started. But yeah, you're right. It's a great litmus test. It's a great way to describe it.
I'm actually really curious how this tournament will play out. I mean, obviously, Cloud9 and SK weren't here because of WESG, and both those teams had a rough WESG. But, a team like Energy is in a rebuilding phase and seems pretty hot right now online. So it'll be cool to see maybe like a Liquid Energy final or something like that and kind of see just where the middle of the pack sits in comparison to some of the top teams in the region.
All right, it does look like we're about to begin into the second half. Dignitas are in much better shape now than they were, at least at the end of the first half of Mirage. That one was 12-3, and they were going into the hard side. So now they're on to the CT side, but they do obviously need to be able to win their pistol round. First half, Team Liquid were able to take that one rather convincingly with some teamwork in there. What a great grenade that comes in. That'll soften the targets, but it doesn't matter when MCE has the precision. And it looks like Dignitas make very quick work of Team Liquid, who may have thought that that B site was going to be lightly defended, if not passively defended.
Yeah, I mean, usually USPs will take longer range fights on Inner from like Z Connector or from the bomb train or something like that. Don't like to usually be super up close on clocks, but Dignitas did not want to just concede that site for free and give the bomb plant so easily, and they wind up winning the bulk of their fights, and that is one step closer towards making this a competitive game, as we do see Liquid don't go for the full force buy here after not getting the bomb plant. They only get armor on NAF. Everyone else just goes Deagle and no armor. It's a little bit more conservative, like buy second round, right? Like you're not investing as much, but still giving yourself a chance to win because Deagles, of course, we know what they can do.
They're gonna reach out and touch you. Twist was able to reach out and touch Mitch. He'll take across Olaf. Maybe he even presses over towards Old Hell, just looking for the pixel angle. As I believe Connor's recognizing where that shot's coming from, and since he doesn't directly see the target, that he's just gonna give that back and let them own that whole line. So it's still a long ways for Team Liquid to be able to get in there and plant that bomb. On the front lines, still the scouts and the Fama that are still in there, making this tough work for Team Liquid. Only Twist's left alone. And Voltage is your most vulnerable player, unless Twist is going to be looking for headshots.
Yeah, just, sometimes you get the Deagles out there, they take some fights and they get some kills with some one-taps and you're able to steal a round away, but other times you're not able to connect the dots and your opponent's able to clean up, which is what happens there for Dignitas. Team Liquid will be looking to take another basic full save here. You see one Deagle and a couple of P250s, one flash from Elige and Twist, maybe just some type of pop flash push, but certainly around it. Shouldn't have too much bite to it. Connor and MC are going to play up close though, so if they get caught, it could be a problem, but the SMG will line them up just fine.
Look out! Oh no, look out! Twist, not like this! He wipes his eyes from the flashbang that came up there, and he shot the first thing that moves, which was a big melon in front of him.
He's like, nah, I'm not letting Connor ace. I'm going to kill my own teammate instead.
Get wrecked, Connor. Getting that SMG cash, man.
Yeah, I mean, there's some strategy behind there, maybe. Probably not, though.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so full buyout now for Liquid, and I'm curious to see how they play, because when I was watching them play at CS Summit 2 on this map, they were mostly just kind of playing like loose and like really fast-paced and really explosive. They didn't really have a defined default, so I'm kind of curious if they kind of keep that up, and in this round it looks like that's the case, but Dignitas doing a decent job at trading even.
It's great flashbang to at least enter in there. A little nap fly straight up over the top. He actually jumps over and beyond the number 6 player, MCE. It's a 2-on-2, now a 2-on-1. All Connor. Is it all Connor all day, though? Doesn't seem so.
That's just one of those slugfest rounds where it moves really fast. People are trading, left and right. It's going 1-for-1 most of the way through, but then it's just all about, who finishes a little bit better at the end. And Liquid, of course, able to win out the 1v1, and they get it to 12-7. Dignitas still have the money to buy here, but if they were to lose this, they'd really lose economic control of the half, and Liquid would be creeping towards that series point. So this is a round I feel like they really need to win to stick around on Train.
Yeah, so Liquid now having the potential to start to run away with it. Dignitas's money has been bottomed out. They rely heavily on Voltage's op, who's currently boosted up on top of the ticket booth and Z connector, and he's staring at T-Con. Pretty standard position for that. If anything, he'll shift back 20, 30 yards back to the other end of Z and watch the ramp of B. But right now, B is all alone with MCE. He's floating his way back towards the catwalk side of this, while Team Liquid think about gearing up there. They've got rifles and UMPs. The new UMP not nearly as good at range as it used to be. Oh, Nilige spotting the jumping information grab, and you see reinforcements arriving. Lots of pop flashes preluding their way into this one. Nilige will be able to pick off a burn unit, and Mitch is in and around, almost picking up 2 kills for himself. But look at Steel all the way up and in. They have complete control of the site, but they forgot that they need to secure the bomb plant in itself. So Connor was in a 1v3, now 1v2, and oh, he's been winged. Steel will make sure that he puts him out of his misery. And Connor will go down swinging. And now the economy for Dignitas being as weak as it was is looking like Team Liquid may very well leap to the 14th and then maybe the 15th.
Yeah, that's a pretty neat little inner execute. People should definitely go back and get the demo and watch that round if you're like an in-game leader or a tactician, and just to see like what's a great way to do a well-coordinated attack on inner. Those smokes by Red Train, again, like if you're pushing inner as a T team and you can push up to Red Train and control Z for yourself, like you make the round so much easier for yourself as a terrorist. That's what Liquid did so well there. And now it's just a save round from Dignitas, which is being mopped up very quickly here by Liquid. Lose 1 member in the mix, but it looks like they'll lose too much more than that. Maybe so. Maybe lose 1 more to Voltage, but it's still a pretty clean round for Liquid nonetheless. And that's actually like a Danish tactic that they just ran. And I know that Zeus and Nitro definitely do some research on demo watching, and that's something that some of the teams that... What's his name? The guy that used to lead Tricked. It's like a real famous like Danish in-game leader that kind of like the Danish Ocean or whatever. I can't remember his name for some reason.
I wouldn't be able to recall that.
But that's the strat that he used to run a lot.
Yeah, it looked like a quick T-Con pop and then the ladder pop just soon thereafter with another flashbang. That
I meant the inner attack, not the save round.
Gotcha. Anyways, it's 4-on-4 very quickly, and looks like Voltage is still above. Oh, but he misses just wide left, but ends up connecting on the next shot. There was only a couple pixels there. A fight on the A side is keeping at least those players honest on that side of the map. But again, scrappy as it stands. You've got Nitro on ramp watching Z. Whether the information is there that Voltage is still up here has definitely been communicated, because they're very hesitant about peeking that angle. But now they were going to work together even with a double peek. Still Grim on the high end of this. 1v2. And Dignitas get at least a little bit of control back. It's not full control, but they survive with 2, with the op included. They'll be able to at least mitigate some losses there. But Team Liquid are still decently healthy. Healthy enough for a couple rifles.
Yeah, and Dignitas are not out of the woods yet. If you are to lose this round and get reset, that's probably the series, right? Because you're not going to have a whole lot to work with when Liquid goes for the W. So this is really, do or die for Dignitas, even though they just won the round in the previous. And yes, it was Hunden, so my apologies. Thank you, chat, for keeping me straight. I had a brain fart there.
Oh, dude, they're hive mind. You can always pose those questions, and someone's
as soon as I said Danish Ocean, they were like Hunden. Like it was pretty easy. So, thank you.
Oh, what a nade! 50 to both Steel and Nitro. Connor just lobs it, and it lands in the shared pocket. There's a one-way smoke there. Connor just able to zig and zag, avoids the shot, and he knows that there's at least 2 players over towards the Ivy side.
Definitely created enough pressure on the Team Liquid side to kind of keep Connor worried about Ivy, but they're playing close on T-Con, able to duel out with Liquid. Even trade so far, though.
Connor's got to be careful.
Also does have ladder room control as well already. This flank from MCE. Ooh.
It's an MP9. Hopefully to upgrade to a rifle if he could manage. But Elige is actually below him in the ladder, so maybe that's what MCE is setting up for. Now the execute comes, and MCE will make his way down this ladder. But already, the T's so far away that the MP9's not going to have great accuracy unless he just hits the wounded player from that grenade earlier right in the face. And a great flashbang here as well. But it is only twists. 1v3 makes quick work of the first one, and again, that MP9 at range is just tickling him at this point. Even makes eye contact with MCE. He'll be able to pass over the top of Voltage, and that's where he catches him. Basically shoving the end of the barrel into his kidneys, and it's 14-9.
A really good play from Dignitas, especially MC getting that kill from ladder. It's not just a frag, but it also just causes Liquid to have their whole system disturbed. Like, you know, all their routines they might be trying to go for, hey, let's, you know, pop flash this, we're going to attack this, we're going to do that. All of a sudden, a wrench gets thrown in all your plans because all of a sudden you've gotten flanked from ladder quicker than you expected. Maybe later on, post-plant, you expect the ladder flank, but not that fast. And certainly ruin the round for them. And Dignitas are really fighting back in this, but the player doesn't get caught going for an aggressive push over there at Ivy.
It's just an MP9. Even if it ends up in the opposing team's hands, what use could it be? Maybe against Voltage, who doesn't have head armor. So there's a chance to make this a little bit more expensive, but for the most part, that's still a stretch.
Yeah. Unless, like, the Deagle of Twist can find something. Nav has a P250. Sometimes that can be quite tricky to deal with. So there's some win conditions for Liquid, but they're far and few in between.
They push in very quickly. Voltage barely survives at 11 HP. He is flanked. Elige will be able to finish him off and takes an AWP out of his hands. And the bomb nearly makes it, but this is a fantastic round for Liquid. They came
Really
into that
expensive.
with just pistols, and they had a really, really good opportunity for a win. And you were talking about those winning solutions, those firing solutions, as I call them, being few and far between. Team Liquid has that knack to make
Yeah, they have the
with what
skilled
little
enough
that you
players
have.
to do that. And again, because they don't have to always save for ops, they can go for little mix buys like that, and they have the skilled players that make it work. So that's just kind of illustrating some of the additional options that Liquid now have tactically with their new lineup. And now they will be back onto a full AK buy, looking to do a fast inner push. The Mitch, though,
Oh, what
it's
a
up
molly.
close, and Liquid actually decided to go through ladder, and they molly off the flank. That was such a smart move, but can they fight their way throughout is the question now.
Well, they've pushed through, and they'll take the both defenders that are on the site in itself. Connor's going to be in back lanes right now, and I believe he's going to be joined in tow with the remainder of his team. Crossing old bomb train for the time being. That angle is clean, but they should be able to double team Nitro, who's up on top of the bomb train right now. It's starting to get a little bit thin. Manpower starting to lack until it's turned back into a 2-on-2. Bomb, however, is planted default, so you have to expose yourself to this wide angle. That smoke should be able to at least help that out. And they've gotten that kill as well. Actually, Bomb's left of default. It's all up to Steel. Bomb was touched once. It worked on MCE. Transfer to the next. Steel 1 and 2 quickly satiated. And 15-10. That 15th round
Mitch
for
must feel
Liquid.
gutted. Mitch must feel absolutely gutted. He had Steel dead to right, spraying his teammate. Had to jump on him big time. Steel had winds up only having 14 HP at the end of that duel. Oof. Steel, on the other hand, is like, you know him. He's probably like, yeah, man. Yeah. Yes. If I was inside their VoIP, I feel like that's what I would have heard.
So it's a quick play. Dignitas up against the ropes with some pistols here. A single M4, but there's a weapon to be recovered. And MCE's got it. Doesn't make much use of it. Still being defended by Elige. Oh, a little bit trigger happy. Here they come. They want that outer yard. Twist is able to grab Voltage off top of the green train, I believe. And there is a long flank coming. It's Connor. And Steel checked the long flank, but he didn't quite see it. He's still tucked up against that wall. But I don't know if that is going to have all that much value unless Grim can hold on the front line. And now it's only Grim and Connor in that 1 and 2 punch. What more can he do? That's the GG. Team Liquid take it 16-10. That 15th round for Liquid was a bit of a delayed effort. I mean, it took them 3 rounds, I think, before they were able to get it under control. But great power to Liquid in the fact that they were able to continually do as much damage as they were doing with just pistols. And we even saw